On the eve of my wedding, the bamboo spirit I raised since childhood took my form and pierced my chest with a single finger. She gouged out my eyes to string into a necklace, then replaced me to marry my childhood sweetheart fiancé. My parents, my brother, none realized she wasn't me, yet only he, when she lowered her head in feigned shyness, would have all tenderness vanish from his eyes, looking more terrifying than his usual fierce demeanor. On the wedding night, crimson candle shadows danced. Chi-min stepped in cloaked by night, elegant, dashing, radiant as rising clouds. The bride's red veil was lifted. The woman was dazzlingly beautiful, peerless in allure. Even the curve of her smile, identical to mine. Chi-min froze for a moment, seemingly captivated. I recalled what Nadia Zhu said last night. She said she could have taken human form long ago, biding her time all these years just for this day. She said she envied my status, my lifelong family adoration, but most of all, she envied my perfect husband. After just one glance at him, she fell deeply in love. She said, "It's a good thing Chi-min doesn't love me, or she'd grind my bones to dust and leave nothing behind." She wants me to watch carefully to see how Chi-min falls for her step by step. But how could that be possible? Chi-min's fearsome reputation was known throughout the capital. He once dragged a man behind his horse for an entire street, leaving a trail of blood in his wake, all because the man had spoken disrespectfully and offended him. Such a man, when facing me, always wore a cold expression, without a hint of affection, even when someone congratulated him on marrying me, the legitimate daughter of a noble house. He merely said indifferently, "It's just parental orders and a matchmaker's arrangement, utterly boring." So, I knew very early on that Chi-min didn't love me. He even despised me. After drinking the wedding wine, Chi-min said gently, "Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you tired?" Then, he began helping Nadia Zhu remove her heavy headpiece, saying, "Let's take this off first, or your neck will ache." His voice was gentle, his eyes smiling. This version of Chi-min was one I had never seen before. Nadia Zhu was delighted, obediently letting Chi-min handle things, her eyes firmly locked on the man. "Weren't you quite afraid of me before?" Chi-min glanced at her and asked calmly. "That was all when we were children." Nadia Zhu spoke softly. "Now that you are my husband, why would I fear my own husband?" Hearing this, Chi-min said nothing more, but his gaze remained fixed on Nadia Zhu. For a moment, Chi-min's eyes lingered on me. I tensed up, but I quickly remembered that now I was just a soul. He couldn't see me at all. "The necklace around your neck looks somewhat familiar." Nadia Zhu reached up to touch it, her face full of happiness. "My husband gave this to me on my coming of age day, but the night before the wedding, a servant accidentally broke it and one bead went missing. This one was a temporary replacement. You won't blame me, will you?" Chi-min narrowed his eyes, but didn't seem to mind. They exchanged a few more words, mostly with Nadia Zhu speaking while Chi-min listened. He occasionally responded with a sentence or two, perhaps due to the wine's influence, his enthusiasm waning from earlier. As the moon reached its zenith, Nadia Zhu suddenly blew out the candle. In the darkness, the rustle of fabric sounded as Nadia Zhu embraced Chi-min. I heard her whisper in my voice, "Husband, I'm so cold. Will you warm me up?" Soft jade and warm fragrance, red candles and cozy curtains. What would follow was easy to imagine, yet Chi-min refused her. "I've had too much to drink and am quite intoxicated now. Making love might wrong you, my lady. Let us rest early today." Though a refusal, his voice was exceedingly gentle, as if fearing she might feel hurt. For some reason, my chest felt tight, whether it was for my own death or Chi-min's attitude. I couldn't say. As soon as Chi-min left, Nadia Zhu's expression changed completely. She smiled innocently, stroking my round eyeball. "You always said Chi-min was fierce, a god of slaughter, yet he treats me with such undeniable tenderness. It seems he really likes me. You were always so timid before. How could he possibly have liked you? Being human is wonderful. From now on, the love of my parents, my brother, and my husband will all be mine." Watching her radiant smile, my heart ached with bitterness. Yes, she was a spirit. No one could see through her transformation. She would live in my place, and I would vanish without a trace. But I refused to accept it. I thought, after all, she isn't me, my parents, my brother. Surely one of them would notice, wouldn't they? The next day, Nadia Zhu rose early, dressed meticulously, and went to the study. Chi Min was already fully dressed. Seeing her, his smile deepened. After drinking the hangover soup, the two went together to serve tea to Chi Min's parents. In my memory, the elders had always treated me exceedingly well, especially the matriarch. Every time she saw me, her smile simply couldn't be contained. After we became family, the elders were overjoyed, repeatedly urging Chi Min not to treat me poorly, almost as if they wished to cherish me like their own daughter. Nadia Zhu responded softly in imitation of me, though her eyes were secretly sizing up Chi Min. I knew she had feelings for Chi Min, but after just one night, her affection seemed to have reached a whole new level, so utterly impossible to hide. Mother is right. Your son will surely treat Xinger well. Chi Min took Nadia Zhu's hand, his thumb subtly brushing over the pad of her middle finger. Though the gesture was slight, it felt like a glimmer of hope, and I shouted excitedly at Chi Min. Chi Min, you noticed, didn't you? That scar. You accidentally caused it when I was 6. You see she isn't me, don't you? I was overwhelmed with emotion, yet Chi Min's expression remained unchanged, his dark eyes still calm and unreadable. Husband, do you still remember how this scar came to be? Nadia Zhu openly spread her right hand, palm up, revealing a small crescent-shaped scar on the pad of her middle finger. I felt as if struck by lightning. Of course I remember. As Chi Min spoke, the tension in his brows eased, seeming less reserved than before. He tightly grasped Nadia Zhu's hand and vowed solemnly, from now on, I will never let my wife suffer even the slightest harm. Nadia Zhu lowered her head and smiled shyly, but as a soul, I clearly saw the sudden chill in Chi Min's eyes, looking more terrifying than his usual fierce demeanor. That night, Chi Min still did not come to Nadia Zhu's room, only sending a servant boy with a message. He said a friend had visited and invited him to a tavern for drinks, which was hard to refuse. If he returned too late and reeked of alcohol, it wouldn't be proper to go to her room, so she should sleep first. Nadia Zhu twisted the handkerchief in her hands tightly, gave a few brief instructions, and let the servant boy leave. For some reason, seeing that Chi Min did not stay the night, my anxious heart relaxed slightly, perhaps feeling guilty for neglecting his new bride. Chi Min visited Nadia Zhu's courtyard the next day. The new chef in the mansion excels at making pastries. Knowing your fondness for them, I had him prepare some. With that, he gestured to Nadia Zhu, urging her to try them. I followed his gaze and saw poria cakes, my absolute favorite. Someone as proud and noble as Chi Min had never stooped to coaxing anyone so gently before. Lost in my distress, I didn't notice anything unusual about the pastries. It wasn't until Nadia Zhu suddenly fainted, and Chi Min discreetly took away the cakes while summoning the doctor, that I finally understood what he had done to Nadia Zhu. Those pastries contained peanuts. Inside the room, Chi Min stayed by Nadia Zhu's bedside, carefully feeding her medicine. Tears welled in Nadia Zhu's eyes as she looked sorrowfully at Chi Min. Husband, do you not care for me? Chi Min's eyes darkened briefly before returning to normal, feigning surprise. Why would you say that? Xinge, has someone been gossiping to you? Nadia Zhu shook her head. If my husband truly cared for me, how could he not know that since childhood I cannot eat peanuts? Even a trace of it causes me to break out in a painful, unbearable rash all over my body. As she spoke, 2 more tears fell, making her look utterly pitiful. Chi Min's face filled with heartache, and he quickly soothed her in a gentle voice. It's all my fault for forgetting to remind the cook. I've made Xinger suffer. Outside the room, however, Chi Min's worried expression vanished, replaced by cold composure as he repeatedly confirmed with the doctor. Are you certain my wife fainted due to a peanut allergy? That is indeed the case. Thank you, doctor. Watching Chi Min see the doctor off with a dejected expression, My heart was already in turmoil. Chi-min, why does he test Nadia Zhu again and again? Could it be that he has discovered something? I couldn't stray too far from Nadia Zhu. By the time my consciousness was forcibly pulled back into the pearl, she had already gotten out of bed, perfectly fine, and was sitting before the mirror combing her hair, as if all the earlier distress had been nothing but an act. Of course it was all an act. I rescued her from the snow at age 6 when she was nearly frozen to death, and transplanted her into the courtyard. According to her, she had already awakened spiritual consciousness by then. I suppose it was also at that time she quietly memorized all my preferences and habits, which means she had planned from the very beginning to eventually replace me. That evening, Nadia Zhu sent someone to invite Chi-min back to her chambers. Chi-min refused once again. My lady has not fully recovered. Intimacy might affect your health. There's no hurry for this matter. We have all the time in the world. Though somewhat disappointed, Nadia Zhu was still overwhelmingly pleased. My husband cares for me so deeply. He truly loves me with all his heart. I watched her coldly, praying that during tomorrow's newlyweds' homecoming visit, my parents and brother would see through this imposter and avenge me. On the day of the homecoming visit, Nadia Zhu rose early to prepare, brimming with anticipation and not forgetting to gloat to me. I'll soon see father, mother, and brother. How wonderful. I wonder if they've missed me? They must have missed me. After all, I am their only daughter, the only one. The carriage had long been prepared, and Chi-min led Nadia Zhu into it. Are you happy? Chi-min asked casually. Of course. It's the first time I've been away from them for so long, and I'm still a bit unused to it. She chattered on about some idle, amusing memories from my childhood with my family, all trivial little things. Some of them, even I had forgotten. Back then, my health was weak. I seldom went out and didn't care for the small gatherings of the officials' wives, so I had few friends. When bored, I could only chat with the Nandina in the courtyard. I talked about many things, from mother's specialty osmanthus cakes to the small bouquet of flowers brother picked for me on his outings. Every detail, nothing left out. Who would have thought it would end up benefiting her instead? Chi-min listened quietly, occasionally smiling, but said nothing more. Once again, he wore that look of disinterest. Was he always this preoccupied in the past? I don't know. I realized I had never truly understood this childhood sweetheart of mine. The carriage came to a gradual halt before the Marquis estate. As the curtain was drawn aside, a young and handsome face greeted me. He beamed with a radiant smile, joy sparkling in the corners of his eyes and brows. I was taken aback. It was brother, Nadia Zhu, like a little bird returning to its nest, bounced and leaped into brother's embrace. Caught off guard, the man showed no sign of annoyance. Instead, he opened his arms to embrace the little girl, as if afraid she might fall. Little one, even after marriage, you're still so unruly. Hardly the picture of a refined lady. Though his words were teasing, brother's eyes crinkled with laughter, carrying not a hint of reproach. Shinger missed you so much. Brother, did you bring the hairpin you promised? You didn't forget, did you? How could I dare? I've had it ready for you all along. I'll give it to you in a moment. Hovering in mid-air, I stared blankly at the scene, my eyes stinging with unshed tears. Brother is still so gentle, but that's not me. Cough, cough, cough. Hearing this familiar coughing sound, I turned to look at the newcomer. Father. I drifted toward him, calling out urgently, but father passed straight through my body and walked toward Nadia Zhu, chiding, Humph, you only have eyes for your brother. That's not true. I missed you too. Father, don't be angry with Stella. Her tone was sweet and coquettish as she held my father's arm and swayed it side to side, making one want to spoil her even more. My father laughed heartily, but I found it utterly grating. I wanted nothing more than to tear off Nadia Zhu's hand, gripping my father's arm, and make this imp stay far away from my family. Father, I'm right here. Father, she's not Stella Nan. I am Stella Nan. Father, look at me. I'm right here. But father's gaze merely swept past me and settled on Chi-min, who had been quietly observing. Thank you for taking care of Stella. Chi-min nodded. Father, in law, You're too formal. Xinger is my wife, and I will naturally protect her. My father was satisfied and pulled Chi Min into the residence. As soon as we entered the courtyard, my mother's figure came into view. The gentle and elegant beauty stood under the eaves, her gaze toward us both anxious and hopeful. With just one glance, my heart ached deeply. My dear mother had grown thinner and more haggard, likely from missing me too much, worrying that my husband's family might not like me, fearing my life was unhappy, or that I wasn't eating or sleeping well away from home, suffering in silence. I couldn't resist rushing toward her, only to see her already smiling and holding Nadia Zhu tightly. Her eyes were full of maternal affection. Mother, Xinger missed you so much. My dear Xinger, Mother missed you too. Let me take a good look at you. My mother stroked Nadia Zhu's cheek, unable to hold back a few more tears. How are things at the Duke's estate? Have you caused any trouble? For household management, you should learn more from your mother. In law, Chi Min is usually busy, so don't always bother him. All right, I know. I don't always bother him. If you don't believe me, ask him. She tugged at Chi Min's sleeve and gave a sweet, innocent smile. Chi Min responded lightly, cupping his hands in salute to my mother. Xinger as well, behaved and sensible. My parents both adore her. That's good. The family gathered around the main hall, the atmosphere lively and warm. I stood to the side, watching quietly, feeling as if a bucket of ice water had been poured over me, chilling me to the bone. No one realized that Nadia Zhu wasn't me. After the meal, my brother presented the wooden hairpin he had meticulously carved to Nadia Zhu. Here, little rabbit. He was referring to the wooden hairpin. I was born in the year of the rabbit, and being fair and well behaved, my brother always teased me by calling me Little Rabbit. I begged brother for this hairpin for so long, showering him with endless "you're the best, brother, and I love you most, brother," before he finally relented and carved it for me himself. Now it was tucked into Nadia Zhu's hair. I watched their joyful scene with greedy eyes until my vision blurred and tears could no longer be held back. Father, mother, please, look at me too, while making mom and dad laugh heartily and playfully teasing her brother. Junajia still found time to shoot me a challenging look, as if saying, "Stop crying, they can't see you." Perhaps it was my imagination, but I saw Chi Min follow Nadia Zhu's gaze and look over. Our eyes almost met. After the feast, Chi Min offered to tour my courtyard. For a married couple, this wasn't considered improper. With mother's permission, Nadia Zhu eagerly led Chi Min through the carved corridor toward my courtyard. The courtyard was immaculately clean. My mother had arranged for daily sweeping and gardening. Even with the owners absent, the scenery remained warm and inviting, every furnishing spotless, as if new. I recall a nandina plant grew in your courtyard. Why is it gone now? Chi Min scanned the yard and suddenly asked. I stiffened, wrenching myself from sorrow, my gaze fixed intently on Nadia Zhu, yet her expression unchanged. She smiled and said, "Strangely enough, it thrived for years, but withered from some illness the very night before the wedding." Withered from illness? Chi Min sounded doubtful. Yes, I thought. Dead is dead. After all, it's just a plant. Nothing worth dwelling on. Without letting Chi Min ask further, she tugged him into the house. I didn't know Chi Min well, but aware of his fearsome reputation, I also knew he was exceptionally sharp. He wouldn't ask about that Nandina without reason. Perhaps he truly suspected something. But how could that be possible? Even my closest family couldn't see through Nadia Zhu's transformation. How could Chi Min possibly detect it? The room had been meticulously cleaned by the servants. Not a speck of dust in sight. Upon entering, the familiar scent of sandalwood greeted me. Yet the master of this house was long gone. Nadia Zhu was about to get intimate with Chi Min when my mother suddenly called her away. I didn't follow. Neither did Chi Min. After Nadia Zhu left, Chi Min suddenly leaped onto the beam, then swiftly descended back to the floor. He opened his palm, revealing a glass bead resting quietly in its center, identical to the one on Nadia Zhu's necklace, precisely the one she had removed to place my eyeball. Nadia Zhu claimed she'd lost it. never imagining she'd hidden it in a crevice of the beam. I glanced at Chi-Min, his expression unchanged, but the hand clutching the glass bead trembled slightly. Chi-Min had discovered it. The mere thought of this possibility made my entire soul quiver. How had he found out? Nadia Zhu is a spirit creature, her human form flawless to the point where even my parents and brother couldn't detect anything amiss. So, how did he notice? If Chi-Min has seen through Nadia Zhu's disguise, would he be willing to seek justice for me? I stared intently at Chi-Min, hoping he wouldn't act rashly, but clearly I was overthinking it. Chi-Min quickly regained his composure. As if the earlier trembling had been my imagination, he rubbed the bead gently and carefully placed it back where it belonged. Then again, it's just a bead. What could it possibly prove? Even if he realizes Nadia Zhu isn't me, given how he treated me before, it's utterly impossible he'd plead my case. Having followed them all these years, I've seen clearly that Chi-Min treats Nadia Zhu quite differently from how he treated me. At this thought, the ache in my heart grew sharper. When Nadia Zhu returned, Chi-Min didn't mention the bead, though he grew somewhat quieter. Nadia Zhu chattered on, seemingly unaware, or perhaps ignoring, Chi-Min's suspicion. Several more days passed, yet I did not catch sight of Chi-Min. Nadia Zhu was also anxious, eager to consummate their marriage with Chi-Min. She went to complain to his mother when she couldn't find him. Sure enough, Chi-Min came to Nadia Zhu's courtyard that night. After days apart, he had grown noticeably thinner, though he was dressed in unexpectedly simple and plain attire. Even so, he carried an air of effortless grace. How could one not adore such a jade? Like gentlemen, even I was captivated, let alone Nadia Zhu. She gazed at him unblinkingly, her lovely face flushed with shyness, and as Chi-Min entered the room, she hurried forward as if afraid he might flee. Her words of affection were fervent and bold. "Husband, I've missed you so much." She reached out to embrace Chi-Min, but he stopped her, giving up. She covered her mouth and nose with her sleeve and coughed a few times. "Xinger, step back. I've caught a cold and fear I might pass the illness to you." Nadia Zhu's small face visibly scrunched up, clearly not out of concern for Chi-Min's illness. "I don't get sick anyway, so I'm not afraid." Hearing this, Chi-Min's brow twitched imperceptibly, though with less resistance than before. Noticing his change in attitude, Nadia Zhu pleaded softly, "Husband, please stay with me tonight." She leaned her face toward Chi-Min's chest and, meeting no resistance, gently rested against him. After a long moment, Chi-Min replied in a low voice, "Very well." I glanced at him. His eyes held nothing but coldness, with no trace of the tenderness from moments ago. Nadia Zhu was overjoyed that Chi-Min stayed the night. She ordered the servants to prepare a lavish dinner and chattered animatedly to Chi-Min about trivial matters from recent days. "Mother told me you may seem cold, but your heart is warm and you do care for me." She urged me to take initiative, so we can sooner expand the lineage of the Duke's estate. As she served him dishes, she cooed, "Xinger also wishes to bear you many children." "My husband." Chi-Min narrowed his eyes, gazing intently at Nadia Zhu for a long moment before finally responding, "All right, if you want a child, I'll give you one." Those words nearly made Nadia Zhu jump for joy, yet they sent a chill straight to my heart. Perhaps this is what it means to care for someone. Day after day, I watched his sweet interactions with Nadia Zhu, witnessed his various acts of favoritism toward her, the depth of his affection, something he could never muster for me. For some reason, a twinge of jealousy rose within me. I wished for his happiness, yet feared he might become too happy. Lost in my sorrow, I failed to notice Chi-Min's hand subtly adding a certain medicine to that bowl of sour plum juice as he traced its rim. After watching Nadia Zhu drink the sour plum juice, he quietly averted his gaze. The evening meal lasted until the moon hung high in the midnight sky. Faintly, I caught a whiff of an elusive fragrance in the air, reminiscent of temple sandalwood, serene and imbued with a touch of zen. In my ears, it was as if a temple bell tolled, tranquil and lingering. Having drifted as a wandering spirit for so long, I should have been most afraid of such Buddhist artifacts. Yet, For some reason, I felt a warmth enveloping me, incredibly soothing. After drinking the sour plum juice, Nadia Zhu's cheeks flushed red, her expression one of growing infatuation. Now, breathing in this subtle fragrance, her gaze grew even more dazed as she looked at Chi Min and said, "Husband, you smell so wonderful." Chi Min looked down at her, his expression cool and detached. "Is that so? Do you like it?" Nadia Zhu's eyes seemed to lose focus. "I like it." The candlelight had gone out at some point. I couldn't see Chi Min's face clearly. In the dimness, his voice sounded colder than the chilly night. "As long as you like it, this incense was prepared just for you." "Really? Husband, you're so good to Shinger." Nadia Zhu nuzzled against Chi Min's arm, as if losing her senses. "So fragrant. Husband, let's consummate our marriage." Influenced by Nadia Zhu, I too began to grow increasingly drowsy. In the last moment before losing consciousness, I saw Chi Min push Nadia Zhu onto the bed and whisper softly, "All right." When I woke again, it was already the next day. Opening my eyes, I saw Nadia Zhu doing her makeup, her face full of satisfaction. Suddenly, remembering yesterday's events, my heart felt as if pierced by a sharp thorn, the pain making it hard to breathe. So, the occasional coldness in Chi Min's eyes must have been an illusion after all. He still likes her. Seeing my dismay, Nadia Zhu gleefully boasted to me, "Stella, Nan, did you see how passionately my husband clung to me last night?" I gave a bitter smile. That unknown fragrance last night had made me lose consciousness instantly. How could I have witnessed such a thing? Now, I began to feel grateful that I had fainted. Otherwise, watching Chi Min with someone else would have been unbearable. Nadia Zhu clearly wasn't seriously asking me, just adding, "My husband doted on me for so long. I had to beg for mercy repeatedly before he finally let me go." Her eyes shimmered as she smiled brilliantly like spring blossoms. The pleasures between men and women were such a taste. A pity you can no longer enjoy them. After speaking, she inhaled the lingering fragrance from the bed curtains and, disregarding her freshly styled hair, sank back onto the bed in a daze, falling asleep again in an instant. For several days in a row, Chi Min stayed in Nadia Zhu's room. The Orchid Heart courtyard was filled with subtle fragrance every night, and I too fell into a deep slumber each evening, not waking until the next day. Nadia Zhu also grew increasingly lethargic, waking very late during the day. Each time she awoke, it wasn't long before she drifted back to sleep. Seeing her like this, Chi's mother feared something was amiss with her health and specially summoned the finest doctor in the capital for a consultation. The examination brought great joy. Nadia Zhu was pregnant. After repeatedly confirming with the doctor, Chi's mother happily saw the old physician off, even giving an extra ingot of silver. Though father and mother couldn't visit in person, they sent several carts of generous gifts to the Duke's estate. One woman's pregnancy brought joy to two families. Even Chi Min, who had been busy for days, had finally returned to the residence. His reaction was surprisingly calm, as if he had everything under control. Though he didn't show overt joy, he sent plenty of nourishing foods suitable for a pregnant woman. Since first taking human form, Nadia Zhu had been enchanted by the delicacies of the mortal world. She had once restrained herself, but lately, she'd grown much more indulgent. Perhaps it was due to the pregnancy, or perhaps she believed she had Chi Min's heart firmly in her grasp. Nadia Zhu grew increasingly unrestrained in her eating habits, and Chi Min indulged her. Whenever she expressed a craving, he would invariably procure it for her, letting her indulge to her heart's content. Chi Min once said to her with a smile, "Eat as much as you like. My Shinger is already enduring so much with this pregnancy. How could I let your palate suffer? No matter how rare the delicacy, I will find it for you." Hearing this, Nadia Zhu smiled even more coyly. "Husband, you treat me so well." After speaking, she even glanced in my direction. I had been in a daze for several days, and her subtle boasting now fell on numb ears. In a daze, I lifted my gaze and suddenly met Chi Min's eyes. I thought I must be seeing things, for in his deep eyes, I glimpsed a barely suppressed sorrow and pity. Chi Min became busy again, not returning home for days on end. Unable to catch him, Lady Chi seemed remorseful and sent an endless stream of delicacies, tonics, silks, and pearl hairpins to the manor. Nadia Zhu also appeared unbothered by her husband's neglect, spending her days eating and sleeping in a monotonous yet leisurely routine. Recalling what mother had told me about her hardships while pregnant with brother, I began to sense something amiss. A thought flashed through my mind, but I couldn't grasp it. And so, unsurprisingly, Nadia Zhu began to gain weight. For the first time since becoming human, she felt a pang of regret. Touching her plump cheeks, she pouted and sought comfort from Chi Min. Yet, for the first time, Chi Min did not comfort her. The dignified and handsome man stood there, beautiful as a painting. But while his face was beautiful, his aura was inexplicably cold. He looked Nadia Zhu up and down, frowning silently. The longer the silence lasted, the more flustered Nadia Zhu became. She reached out, clinging to Chi Min's arm, coquettishly as always. "Husband, why aren't you speaking? Has Xinger grown ugly? Do you despise Xinger now?" Chi Min finally sighed softly and said, "How could I ever despise Xinger? Don't overthink it. Just focus on resting for the pregnancy." That night, Chi Min did not stay over. This was understandable, as Nadia Zhu was still early in her pregnancy, and the doctor had repeatedly warned against intimacy to avoid miscarriage. But Nadia Zhu could not accept it. After Chi Min left, she fell into anxiety. Her emotions were always worn on her sleeve, so I could easily glimpse her inner turmoil. Yet I could only sigh at her endless desires, forever unsatisfied. How could a man as devoted as Chi Min ever feel disgust over her changed appearance? Several days passed in the blink of an eye. Nadia Zhu's fetal movements grew increasingly pronounced, and her body suffered greatly. The imperial physicians could not diagnose her condition, only advising that her cold constitution required warming care and hot spring baths to protect the pregnancy. Without much hesitation, Chi Min took Nadia Zhu to Wuhua Mountain the very next day. The carriage halted before a secluded courtyard. Nadia Zhu excitedly tugged at Chi Min's arm, pulling him inside, yet Chi Min glanced back toward another branching path. Following his gaze, I glimpsed a carriage stationed amidst the bamboo grove. It was my father's carriage. Faintly, I sensed something unusual about this hot spring trip. "Chi Min, what exactly are you planning?" The hot spring within the estate was spacious, divided into two areas by a white jade screen. Steaming heat and a familiar subtle fragrance wafted over, making me drowsy. Nadia Zhu's face was flushed, already soaking in the hot spring, gazing infatuatedly at Chi Min. Chi Min had also changed into a light bathrobe, his robust and tall figure shrouded in mist. Even more captivating, he entered the water, sitting farther from Nadia Zhu, frowning as he stared at the necklace around her neck for a long time. Only when Nadia Zhu called out to him did he look up, but not at her. Instead, at the white jade screen not far away. "I once heard a legend, and I thought you might be quite interested," he said abruptly. Nadia Zhu had somehow sidled up to Chi Min and murmured dreamily, "What legend?" "Long ago, there was a female knight who saved an injured spirit snake. Perhaps out of loneliness on her journey, she came to regard the snake as a friend." Hearing this, my heart tightened abruptly, and I stared directly at Chi Min. Yet Chi Min slightly lowered his gaze, a trace of deep sorrow surfacing on his face. But the spirit snake, after all, was a supernatural being, tainted by too much human influence. It developed delusions of grandeur. She envied the female knight's carefree and unrestrained demeanor, and yearned for her life of roaming the martial world on horseback, free and joyful. Over time, this envy gradually turned into greed, and so she decided to take her place. She expended all her demonic power to invoke an extremely sinister and malicious spell. One day, seizing the moment when the female knight was off guard, she transformed into her appearance and, under the knight's astonished gaze, pierced through her chest with a single finger. She disposed of the female knight's body, took a single thread from her sword tassel, sealed one part of her soul within it, and suppressed it at the site where the knight was buried. Afterward, she extracted the knight's ligaments, turning them into ordinary threads woven into the sword tassel, which she carried with her at all times. Thus, the female knight's soul remained incomplete, unable to gather malevolent energy to become a vengeful spirit, and unable to be guided into the underworld for reincarnation. After exactly 49 days, she will naturally dissipate into nothingness, and by then, the spirit snake can live on as the heroine forever, until it finds another vessel that satisfies it. Chi Min lowered his gaze, looking at Nadia Zhu, and asked, "What do you think of this spirit snake?" Before Nadia Zhu could answer, Chi Min pressed on, "Do you think it deserves to die?" Nadia Zhu seemed oblivious to the shift in his tone, tilting her head and replying innocently, "Isn't it because the heroine misjudged people that this misfortune befell her? If the heroine hadn't been so naive, how could the spirit snake have taken advantage? In the end, it was her own foolishness. What does it have to do with the spirit snake? The spirit snake just wanted to taste what it's like to be human. If I had a physical form, I would have lunged forward to tear Nadia Zhu's mouth apart. She showed not the slightest awareness of her own wicked deeds. Instead, she shifted the blame onto an innocent person. After a long silence, Chi Min suddenly laughed. "Heh, it's my fault. I shouldn't have wasted time debating with a mere monster." With that, he grabbed Nadia Zhu by the neck. His grip tightened gradually, and Nadia Zhu could no longer make a sound in his grasp. "Who? Husband?" But the next instant, Chi Min's hand closed on empty air. Nadia Zhu had reappeared a short distance away, her earlier fragility gone, replaced by a venomous glare fixed on Chi Min. A moment later, Nadia Zhu suddenly broke into a smile, a brilliant, radiant smile that was unmistakably hers, just like when she pierced through my chest. Innocent yet cruel, she parted her crimson lips lightly and said, "Oh dear, you found me out." Chi Min's face darkened. "You killed Shinger." A statement, not a question. "That's right," Nadia Zhu giggled. "The night before our wedding." Suddenly, a mournful cry came from behind the screen. That voice, "Mother." I jerked my head toward the sound, my body beginning to tremble slightly. Nadia Zhu, however, was completely unfazed and continued excitedly, TSK. Stella, Nan was so fragile. She died with just one poke to her chest. Heh, she only has herself to blame for being so fortunate, doted on by her parents, cherished by her brother, and adored by a young man who held her in the highest regard. Nadia Zhu laughed heartily, each word piercingly cruel. Footsteps echoed from behind the screen, followed by my brother's suppressed, furious voice. "Father, don't stop me. I'm going to flay that damned creature alive." My Stella, oh my Stella, Stella. Mother wept bitterly, her cries so heart-rending that she fainted outright. Anxiously, I drifted closer and saw Father's red-rimmed eyes, clutching Mother's hand tightly. My brother, lips trembling, gathered Mother into his arms, cast one last furious glance at the screen, then turned and left in disarray. Helpless, I could only watch as my family departed. Seeing this, Nadia Zhu laughed even more heartily. Then she looked at the unmoved Chi Min, a trace of regret flickering across her face. Originally, I quite liked you, my husband, but you had to say such hurtful things. Husband, you're not being good." As the words fell, she raised her hand and lunged at Chi Min. In the blink of an eye, the sound of sutra chanting suddenly arose in the air, smooth and resonant, rising and falling without end, like divine music descending from the heavens, cleansing the heart and mind. Nadia Zhu shuddered violently, all her movements seemingly bound by an invisible force. Utterly immobilized, she barely supported her belly, her whole body convulsing as if in excruciating pain. Strangely, I remained unaffected, feeling no discomfort whatsoever, unable to endure it any longer. Nadia Zhu looked pleadingly at Chi Min and struggled to say, "Husband, a day as husband and wife brings 100 days of grace. I truly admire you. I've never done anything to harm you. Please spare me, won't you? If not for my sake, then for the child in my womb. Your own flesh and blood. My flesh and blood? Chi-min sneered. I wish you were dead. How could I possibly let you bear my child? Hearing this, Nadia Zhu's eyes turned bloodshot, yet she lacked the strength to retaliate. She could only watch helplessly as Chi-min drove a peachwood dagger engraved with scriptures through her heart. Then, Chi-min tore the necklace from Nadia Zhu's neck, plucked the central bead, transformed from my eyeball, and cradled it greedily in his palm. After a long while, I heard his hoarse voice murmur, Xinger, come, I'll take you home. When I awoke again, I was inside Wuhua Temple. I seemed trapped within that bead, no longer able to roam freely as a wandering spirit. Chi-min held me carefully, his warm palm offering a sliver of comfort. Nadia Zhu remained with the peachwood dagger lodged in her chest, her body withered to little more than a skeleton, bound to a temple pillar like a macabre effigy. Yet her belly remained alarmingly large, her skin stretched nearly transparent, as if something might burst forth at any moment. To activate the transformation spell, she had exhausted all her demonic energy. If she truly waited until the 49th day, when her spirit would perish and the spell fully formed, even piercing her with a peachwood dagger and soul-locking spike would hardly kill her in one strike. Master Kongming spoke as he roused Nadia Zhu. Wretched fiend, do you recall the person you murdered 30 years ago? She was heroic and righteous, pure and kind, repeatedly saving people plagued by monsters. A radiant, extraordinary woman, unforgettable to all who saw her. Yet you killed her. While Buddhist monks are known for compassion, Master Kongming hated evil fiercely, championing justice with a demeanor reminiscent of a chivalrous knight. So the legend Chi-min told was about Master Kongming's junior sister, whose soul was stolen. Haha. Upon hearing this, Nadia Zhu began laughing like a madwoman. Then, with a sinister glare at Kongming, I remembered there really was such a person. That foolish woman was obsessed with saving lives from suffering, yet couldn't even save herself. Isn't that laughable? If you vowed to exterminate demons, why did you spare my life? You preached for me to embrace goodness, called me your closest friend, yet denied me even a physical form, forcing me to take matters into my own hands. What kind of friend is that? Nothing but hypocrisy. Nadia Zhu narrowed her eyes at Master Kongming and suddenly laughed. Old monk, you couldn't be the senior brother that foolish woman always longed for, could you? Perfect. Here and now, I'll send both pairs of lovers to their graves together. As she spoke, she abruptly summoned her demonic power, instantly erupting in a green light that enveloped her entirely. As the green light intensified, several of the vines binding Nadia Zhu began to snap one after another. Petty tricks to restrain me? Wishful thinking. The green light condensed to its peak in an instant, demonic power erupting wildly as murky mist swiftly shrouded heaven and earth. All turned turbid between sky and ground, yet I could see clearly. Nadia Zhu was breaking free from her restraints. If she escaped, Chi-min would be in mortal danger. I desperately tried to burst out from the pearl, even at the cost of my own existence, to protect him, but before I could act, a beam of Buddhist light, carrying immense power, shot toward the source of the green radiance. Boom! In an instant, the murky mist shattered, the gloom dissipated without a trace, and the world finally returned to clarity. Nadia Zhu lay collapsed on the ground like a ragged cloth, only her resentful eyes glaring fiercely in Master Kongming's direction. As Chi-min approached, she turned her glare to him and, after a long pause, voiced the question that had long puzzled me. How did you see through it? My transformation was flawless. How could a mere mortal like you see through it? I looked at Chi-min, also awaiting an answer. Chi-min seemed to sense something, turning to look at me with a wistful gaze, as if lost in remembrance. After a moment, he said, Xinger. She was always shy and timid, hiding in corners to steal glances at me whenever we met. When I looked back, she would pretend to be calm and turn away, revealing only the tip of a flushed red ear. Utterly adorable. But your ears never reddened. That's how I knew you weren't her. Even if your disguise was flawless. To me, it was nothing but a poor imitation. Nadia Zhu widened her eyes, as if hearing the most absurd joke. Her face contorted as she shrieked. So you realized I wasn't her just because my ears didn't turn red? Because of such a tiny flaw, you tested me again and again, even pretended to love me and consummated our marriage? Nadia Zhu grew increasingly hysterical, but after she quieted down, Chi Min lifted his gaze and delivered the final blow. Consummation? He laughed like a demon from the underworld. I merely drugged you a bit, and you conjured up an entire erotic banquet in your mind. Do you know how repulsed I was when you acted coy with me the next morning? Nadia Zhu's pride was utterly shattered by his words. She finally shed her human disguise, revealing her true form, a grotesque, bloated green monster. On her distorted, furious, demonic face, a pair of eyes as large as bronze bells were fixed intently on Chi Min. I'll kill you, she shrieked hysterically. The wooden fish drum sounded, resonant as a great bell, its rhythm growing increasingly rapid and intense. Nadia Zhu clutched her stomach, howling in agony as her round belly began to swell once more. With the final strike of the wooden fish, her abdomen burst open instantly, and her body disintegrated into fragments. The peachwood dagger remained nailed to the Buddha pillar, and I clearly saw Nadia Zhu's spirit fiercely struggling upon it. Howling in agony, she would be suppressed beneath the diamond pagoda, repaying her sins for all eternity. Once it was over, he walked toward Chi Min, yet his gaze lingered on me. Following his line of sight, Chi Min also turned to look at me. I felt somewhat at a loss. How would they deal with me? Master, I beg you. Just as Chi Min was about to speak, Master Kongming raised his hand and recited a Buddhist chant, a virtuous soul across 3 lifetimes. No wonder you encountered such a fate. He smiled kindly and said, Donor Chi, rest assured, this young friend's worldly ties are not yet severed. This humble monk can assist you on your journey. I was utterly bewildered, but Chi Min's eyes suddenly lit up with hope. Extra story. Anping era, year 18, spring. I am 100 days old today. Mother says today is my 100-day celebration. What is a 100-day celebration? I don't understand. I just want to sleep. ZZZ. I was in the middle of a sweet dream when Mother woke me up, wiping the drool from the corner of my mouth with a particularly beautiful smile. Oh well, since Mother is so lovely, I suppose I have no choice but to forgive her. Mother dressed me in a pretty little outfit, put on an adorable tiger hat, and carried me out to meet everyone, while Father was showing me off to others. I drowsily blew a snot bubble, and everyone burst into laughter. Wow, adults really have such strange senses of humor. Too awake to sleep, I just stared as I was passed from one adult's arms to another. Father took me from Mother's embrace, gently touched my soft little cheek, and then, amid Brother's impatient urging, handed me over to him. Brother playfully teased me for a while, but then someone snatched me right out of his arms, making him shout in protest. Hey, Chi Min, that's not fair. Brother hurriedly chased after the person holding me, shouting, Don't run. I haven't had enough time with her yet. Hey wait, that's my little sister. Stop right there. Give her back. His antics once again drew hearty laughter from the banquet guests. As for me, I was staring wide-eyed at the person who had snatched me away. He was also looking down at me, his eyes brimming with laughter. Wow, his smile is so gorgeous. He'd probably look just as good even without smiling. I hereby declare that from today onward, he is Nana's pretty big brother. He planted a kiss on my forehead and said something I couldn't understand. Stella, may you grow up safe and sound this time. I didn't understand what he was saying, but I giggled foolishly anyway. Deep down, just seeing him made me happy. All right, you've held her long enough. Let's go. The banquet is about to start. When Brother led pretty big brother back to the banquet, Father was still racking his brains over my name. Call her Stella. Stella Nan, I heard pretty big brother say. His eyes sparkled like scattered stardust. Not the Forget Nan, but the Hope Nan. In the 22nd year of the Anping era, I am 4 years old now. Brother once said that we would have many worries when we grew up. I think I must have already grown up. Although I am only 4 years old, that doesn't stop me from having many worries already, like the green vegetables mother puts in my bowl, or father's prickly stubble every time he gives me a hug. And also, when will brother give up on his idea of carving me a little rabbit? His courtyard is bare, and he's almost chopped down all the trees. Last month, he made a bet with the pretty brother. Whoever could carve me a little rabbit within a month would win. Adults always have such strange competitive streaks. Just as I was thinking, an enormous wooden little rabbit suddenly appeared by the window, waving its paw at me. I ran over excitedly, but there was no one behind the windowsill. I picked up the big rabbit, looking around, when suddenly a pair of large hands scooped me up into an embrace. Wow, pretty brother, compared to my new friend, the big rabbit. The appearance of the handsome brother clearly made me happier. Do you like the big rabbit I gave you, Shinga? He smiled, his voice clear and gentle. I like it. Shinger likes it. Whatever the handsome brother gives, Shinger loves it all. He seemed even more delighted and promised me a big tabby cat, a big squirrel, a big dog. So many clever little things. Hee hee. The more competitive spirit adults have, the better. In the 32nd year of the Omping era, I turned 14. Since last year, I've started having the same dream repeatedly. In the dream, I was harmed by someone, but fortunately, my husband never gave up on me and sought help everywhere, saving me from the fate of having my soul scattered. It wasn't until yesterday that I became certain everything I experienced in the dream was real. Memories gradually returned, and the events of my past life felt as though they happened just yesterday. At the end of my past life, I was enlightened by Master Kongming and reincarnated. Mother couldn't bear to part with me and, despite her advanced age, risked her life to give birth to me. Fortunately, it was just a close call, and Mother's health was not seriously affected. In this life, I am still showered with affection, but my temperament is vastly different from my previous incarnation. My parents no longer confine me to the inner courtyard, so I spent my days trailing after my brother all over the capital. As for Chi-Min, he never remarried. Because of this, many marriageable young ladies in the capital were heartbroken. He volunteered to be my martial arts instructor, taking me either hunting outside the city or sparring with others in the military camp. He was close to me, yet maintained a distance, never crossing any boundaries. He taught me to live freely and fearlessly, following my heart's desires. Yet he never spoke a word about the events of our past life. I didn't know what to feel, but I understood that I could no longer hold him back. He should have his own family, marry, and have children, not wait for me through 2 lifetimes in vain. I decided to venture out into the world. Surprisingly, my parents and brother accepted this proposal quite calmly. Indeed, in this life, I am no longer a delicate noble lady, so they had no reason to worry. On the day of my departure, I did not bid farewell to Chi-Min. Just as I was leading my horse away from the capital, a familiar voice called out from behind, "Shinger." It was Chi-Min. He dismounted, seemingly unbothered by my unannounced departure. "Where to? Let me escort you." Along the way, he kept giving me instructions, repeating them tirelessly until we reached beyond the 10-mile pavilion. He suddenly fell silent, and for a moment, we just looked at each other without a word. After a pause, he finally said, "Go on, take care on your journey." I nodded, watching him turn to leave before hesitantly calling out, "Chi-Min." His figure paused slightly as he turned back to look at me. I parted my lips and uttered 3 words. Watching his eyes gradually fill with a smile, the last trace of gloom in my chest completely dissipated. I tugged the reins, raised my whip, and rode away under the faint warmth of the morning sun.